Hi there. Tonight I thought I'd do just a quick video. It's going to be pretty short probably on auras. So I mentioned auras before, but I wanted to explain a little bit more for anybody who doesn't really know that much about auras. So auras are basically energy fields. The first one starts within your body and kind of goes out, and they each then start slightly inside the previous one and go out. And I believe there's like 7 layers of auras. Um, each aura, each layer of aura, each have properties that they coincide with. And those are physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual levels. So they all affect each other and they all kind of work together with each other. They also, the energy of them can project a specific color. So those colors can change depending on what's going on with the person or the animal, or so, all living things will have auras. So plants, trees, animals, flowers, people, we all have auras. It's said that your emotional body, if you don't deal with your emotions, that eventually your emotional body, the energy becomes more dense. So it's less dense the further away from your body, and the closer the layers get to the body, the more dense that they are. So like when you don't deal with things on the outer layers, the energy moves inward, it becomes more dense, and that's where you get disease. So it's really good to work with your emotions and clear your mental and your emotional body before it gets to your physical body. For that reason, so that you're not contributing to the denseness of the physical body and causing diseases. There have been, I think it's called Kirlian photography. I'm not sure how it's spelled, Kirlian maybe, has actually taken where it has photographed people with it's the auras around people. And I know when I learned energy work, my teachers were doing a lot of that. They were having pictures taken of people before they had energy sessions, and then as soon as they finished an energy session, they would do another picture and get another shot of their auras, and you could visibly see that the aura colors changed and the difference it made, the lightness of the auras after energy work. So energy work is very, very powerful. It's hard to explain if you've never experienced what energy work is like. To me, it's magical. It feels great. The experiences I've had doing energy work, both giving and receiving, are just amazing. The information that you can touch into is pretty magnificent. I want to talk a little bit about emotions, because our emotions, it doesn't really matter what culture you come from. We're all culturized not to deal with our emotions. We've all been culturized to stuff our emotions. And a lot of people have a lot of anger and resentment and bitterness and even shame and guilt that they've stuffed and they haven't dealt with. And some people are afraid at this point to deal with those emotions because they're so afraid that they'll be so overwhelmed by the emotions. But I can tell you from experience, when you go through a process and you deal with your stuffed emotions, the feeling afterwards is undescribable. It's a lightness that you have. There's more joy in your life. I remember the first time that I ever really experienced getting out a lot of anger. And I was like in my 20s. I just can't even hardly explain to you, describe to you the feeling, how good it felt to get all of that stuff out of me. It was pretty amazing. So I want to one little version. I mean, there could be other definitions and other things attached to these emotions, but I'd like to share some of these emotions and what they could mean. Know that when you have, I think shame is like one of the lowest vibrational energies there is. Shame and guilt are two of the lowest vibrational energies. But anyway, so bitterness, it kind of shows where you need to heal, where you're still holding judgment on others or on yourself. Resentment shows where you're living in the past and you're not allowing the present to be as it is and what it is. Discomfort shows that you need to pay attention right now to what's happening. Our bodies are really in tune with giving us warning signs. And if you're having discomfort, it's your body and your emotions giving you signs that you need to pay attention to something. Anger shows what you're passionate about, where your boundaries are, where your boundaries have been violated, what you believe needs to change about you, about the world, about a situation, any of those kind of things. Disappointment shows that you've tried something and it didn't work out. You know, if you were so detached that you didn't really care how something worked out or not, then that goes beyond disappointment. Guilt shows that you're still living in other people's expectations. So, more than likely, it's not your expectation. It's an expectation that you've taken on or imprinted on you from someone else, that if you're feeling guilt, it's not usually coming from your soul or what you think your life should be like. It's usually coming from outside of you. Shame shows that you're internalizing other people's beliefs. And it's, you know, shame and guilt kind of can go hand in hand a lot of times. Shame can be like based on something that someone thinks and you've taken it on that you should or shouldn't have done. Anxiety shows that you need to wake up, like now, that you need to be in the present moment, because probably you're focusing on something in the future that hasn't happened and may never even happen. A lot of times we project into the future our fears, and it creates anxiety within us. And sadness, it shows the depth of your feelings, the depth of how you care about other people, the world, situations. So our feelings are good things. And what I listed to you were the negative feelings. Those all are lower vibrational feelings. You know, your higher vibrational feelings are love is at the top, joy, peace, serenity, all of those feelings, happiness, all of those are higher vibrational feelings. So the goal is to, when you experience lower vibrational feelings, that you look at the situation, what's causing you to have those lower vibrational feelings, and to work through them. Not just to dismiss them or stuff them. It's to figure out what's being triggered in you and work through. And maybe it's belief systems, maybe it's things that people have imposed upon you. It could be any number of things. As we go through all of these intense energies, and I do think the entire month of April, because it's about change, it's giving us so many opportunities to do this work, to look at our feelings, to look at our lives, to look at what needs to change that hasn't worked for us all these years. That it's time to change so that we can live a better, healthier, more prosperous, joyful, you name it, happy life, more abundant, more prosperous, all of it. Okay, I think as far as the energies are going, what's happening for me is I'm having a roller coaster experience. It's like it'll really hit me hard, and the next day I'll seem to be on an upward trend, having more energy, and then the next day kind of dips again, and then I go back up. So maybe you're experiencing that as well. Just know that we're going to get through this. It doesn't feel good at the time. Sometimes it's really intense for some people more than others. And if you know of somebody who's having a rough time, reach out to them. Let them know that this isn't forever, and we can get through this. And we can get through this and have a better life as well. Okay, I'm sending you all love and many blessings.